Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to Wednesday. And we trust that the audio, the tech, everything is going to be absolutely exquisite today. Not just good, not just great, exquisite. My name is Marcus Heflin out of Nashville, Tennessee. We are back live and in action with the G.R.O.W show. Happy Wednesday. Kyle Evans out the Bayou, Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Anywhere down there that you need him, he's going to show up for you guys. We are very excited for today's show. We have a wonderful guest who's going to pour into you at a very high level to set the stage like we always do, our bold law and our DTD2 schedule, because we start with foundation. The only thing different between ordinary people and extraordinary people is extraordinary people do the ordinary things over and over again at a high level. Our bold law of the week is going to be scrolling at the bottom. It is, drum roll, please. Drum
You
roll.
can't
There it is.
please everyone.
You can't please everyone. And hey, we ain't trying to. We're trying to focus on our goals and becoming the best version of ourselves. We're going to dig into that a little bit more today. Our DTD2 schedule is T and J. Everybody last name T and J. Call them up. Kyle, I've had some really good success this week. I wanted to share with the crowd before we get into our guest. I've been doing voice memos as far as lead gen and just powering through because I have a very limited amount of time on my lead gen right now with everything. You can see everything behind me. We're packing up. We're getting ready to move 5 states away. And these voice memos, man, they hear my tonality. I get to send them a really good message of gratitude or thankfulness or whatever it may be. We've lined up several different vendors. We've lined up several different calls. And it's been so phenomenal because they get those messages when they're able to, like a text. And then they get to hear my heart as opposed to just read a message and interpret it the way they do. So I just want to remind everybody, your lead gen is your lead gen. Find your zone, find your style, and it's okay to remix it from time to time and see what's working for you. Kyle, what you got for us today, Bubba?
Man, I'm pumped up. I'm sad. Well, first off, I'm excited because me and you had an awesome conversation yesterday, awesome recording yesterday that no one will ever see because the audio did not exist. And yet just know it was a banger. But don't worry, we're going to be talking about it on Friday because it was so good. We want to bring it back to you guys. Now, today, though, I have the honor, Marcus, nay, the privilege to introduce to you guys just the dude. I got to meet this guy for the first time. I've heard whispers about him, right? You hear, you see his success, you see him, doing all the things. And he came to a class called the 6 Personal Perspectives. And in it, he's just dropping hammers of comments, right? Just ones that I'm writing down as the instructor. I'm like, ooh, that's good. Let me go ahead and keep that one and steal it. And then I got to know him, right? And we're launching in his market center. He's a team leader. He's also a rainmaker. Dude is just, he's the kind of guy, Marcus, where you hang out with him and you feel a little better after you did. Kind of like going to Trader Joe's. He's like a Trader Joe's guy. Like you go in there and you're like, why do I feel so much better? I don't know why. It's just nice. And he's also super successful. So I had to twist his arm. And by twist his arm to get here, I mean, hey, do you want to be here today? And he's like, I'm in. So guys, it's my opportunity, my privilege to share with you guys the man, the myth, the legend out of the actual Bayou, Joe Boudreaux.
I love Trader Joe's, by the way, Kyle. Great analogy there.
That's awesome. Welcome to the show, Joe. I'm excited for you to be here, man. We ask every single person, obviously, you got a welcoming endorsement from our buddy Kyle. We ask everybody, though, give us a little bit like 30 to 90 seconds of your come up, a little bit of just you. That way people get to know you a little bit, whatever you'd like to highlight. What you got for us, bud?
Yeah, awesome, man. Well, first of all, I've been married to my beautiful wife for almost 18 years. We have 3 great kids. They're 10, 12, and 15. And my family's my life, and they're my big why. And so it's what I never forget to think about every day. When I do my affirmations, they're absolutely the center of it. Yeah, man, got into real estate about 14 years ago. I wasn't with Keller Williams. I was with another national brand. And so last month was my 10-year with G.R.O.W. And so I was a launching team leader in our market center and also one of the franchise owners. And now I'm back as team leader in this position because life's about seasons, and it was the season for me to get back into it and take it to the next level. So absolutely love our company, love this real estate business. and can't see myself doing anything else, man. And I guess that's the quick 30-second version of it.
That's perfect, man. Kyle, out the gate. I always love, and I never actually have said this to anybody. I always take note on when I ask somebody to tell me about themselves, what are the first things they say? My man
Mhm.
led with husband, father, my big why, and affirmations.
I know,
It's
right?
it's
See?
about to be a good show. It really is. Not that I'm judging anybody when they tell me about themselves, and yet the first things you tell me, they seem to be the highest value. So, Joe, man, I appreciate you launching us off in the correct direction, my friend. Kyle, how do we let these people really get? I mean, because you've heard the greatness. So, how do we launch this real quick?
Man, I don't know, dude. You know, there's just so much to the G.R.O.W story that it's 20 minutes is not going to handle it. 30 minutes is not going to handle it. So I say we throw it to Joe, dude. Joe, what's on your heart to share with these people today, man? What do you got burning inside that you want to drop on them? I know you were dropping to me some ditties before we
Good time.
launched this bad boy. So what do you
Yeah,
got today?
let's hit that, man. So what's on my heart, first of all? So in the team leader role, we have like a monthly Zooms with other team leaders and OPs. So above that, right, you have the regional director, and then you have a regional owner, which I guess answers directly to Gary and his team. I guess that's kind of the chain of command. And so the guest on our Zoom was our regional owner, a gentleman by the name of Todd Butzer. And Todd just dropped some things on it. He said, I was talking to Gary a while back, and he said, Gary just said, "Hey, man, when did we stop having fun?"
Mm.
You know, and it was like, wow. So that was right there. On the other side is something that Mark Willis has said over and over, that that we need to do less more. It's like, KW, man, it's like drinking from a fire hose, and there's so many things. They're always coming out with a new gadget and this and that, and you have to do this, and you have to do that, and so many formulas for success, because we're a company of systems and models, and it's fantastic. So I kind of like took those two things, and I said, do less more, focus on the good things. And then when do we stop having fun? And so now every morning, man, I'm just like, yeah, let's have fun. Like, let's have this infectious joy in our hearts, right? I said that earlier today, that there's a difference between happiness and joy, right? So like, you have emotions, and emotions are a normal part of our physiology, and it's sometimes we're sad, and it's okay. Sometimes we're angry, and it's okay. Like, God put emotions in our being, in our soul, for a reason. It's okay to use them, as long as we have emotional intelligence behind it. We know how to kind of control that. But joy is not an option, gentlemen. Joy is not an option. It's what lives in our heart, and it should never ever leave our heart, right? And so I said, man, I'm just going to wake up every day in joy, and I want to like continue that, right? Like, continue to be a light in a dark world. So that's, man, that's what's on my heart this morning, guys. So let's talk about that.
So not a lot. Got it.
Not a lot.
Not a lot, just greatness, just seeping out. Okay, hey, all right. So let me be the bad guy for just a moment, Joe.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, Joe, you the night before, and you still sell houses, yes?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Cool. The night before you go to sleep, somebody calls you up and a deal falls through that's just like 3 days away, and it's not your fault, and yet it's your seller, and a buyer's just like, I'm out, screw y'all, like, I'm done. So you got to go to bed with that heavy on your heart. Really shakes up your seller, right? You wake up the next morning, you stub your toe, all 3 kids are sick, your wife is mad, and she's, y'all are bickering, the whole thing, the whole deal. I'm painting a horrible picture to a horrible, and oh, by the way, it's Monday. Like, it's Monday. Okay, there you go. I'll pour it on. How do you stay in joy, buddy? Because I know a lot of people out there are hearing this, and yet the practice of it is maybe where we're falling a little bit short. So how do you keep joy at the anchor point?
Yeah. So where I draw my strength from is my faith, and my belief in Jesus Christ. And so I go back to that, and I say, I'm a filthy, wretched sinner that doesn't deserve to take this breath. And because I'm breathing, because I'm sitting here, because I have things around me, like, a circumstance is a circumstance, and
Mm.
those are, they'll everything will pass, right? Everything will pass, and things will get better. They always do. And so, yeah, man, you sit there and you sulk on yourself for a minute, and you feel sorry for yourself, and you have these conversations in your head, and then you just tell yourself, like there's a scripture in the Bible that says that take every thought captive. Um, and so sometimes I just tell myself that. I say, take every thought captive, meaning like I will take that thought in my head and I will throw it away, and I will act on what I know, not how I feel, right? Like emotionally intelligent people act on what they know, not on how they feel, right? And so, so that's what I do, man. So I sit there and I feel sorry for myself. I have a little pity party in my head, and then I just get up, and then I just focus on the solution and not the problem. And then we move forward, man. And that's it. So no, let the pity party last for a little while, and then it's time to move forward and really focus on the things. Um, I was telling my daughter this morning, she likes to, my middle daughter, she's a routine kind of person. She wakes up at 5:42. She gets dressed. The coffee needs to be ready. She likes to watch Fox News, Fox 8 News. It's like a local, not like the political stuff. Like she likes to know like the weather and the traffic and stuff like that.
How old is your daughter, by the way?
Yeah, she's 12, and she's a straight A student, and she's the most she's the most adult person you ever met in your life. It's
So
crazy.
mine.
And they were doing a story about a guy who's a marathon runner, and he has ALS, and he can't run marathons anymore. So like his running buddies push him now, and I looked over to her, and I said, because we talk about the things that we're grateful for every day, and I said, now think about that. That gentleman wants to scratch an itch on his nose, and he just wants to walk. Like if he could just get up and walk from here to there, he's run like 100 marathons, and now he has, ALS. And I told her, I said, think about that. Like we could have the worst day in the absolute world. Everything could fall apart. I said, but I just saw you scratch your nose. I just saw you lift your coffee cup and take a sip. Like you just got up to go bring your plate to the kitchen. Like he would give anything to do that. And I said, so if your world is falling apart and you can get up and blow your nose, like any little thing, there are many people in this world that would love to do that. Be grateful for that. You know what I mean? Down to the molecular level, like be grateful for that.
That's like one of the things we talked about the other day, Marcus. It's like, imagine living your life and it being someone else's dream.
Right. And truthfully,
Yeah.
it is. Truthfully, it is. Somewhere out there, you're living someone's dream, and probably multiple hundreds of people's dreams, right? Also love when we bring on guests, and I can literally take a full page of notes, and it's not even 10 minutes inside. So, Joe, I appreciate you, man. When you first started talking about this, you immediately went to perspective and gratitude. Perspective on the bigger picture, and gratitude for what you actually have coming in your life. There was something that Jason Abrams said that I think really coincides with what you're talking about. A lot of us think that we're having unique problems to us, when really they're very common problems. We just don't see how many people are facing them, right? In business, in life, in the whole deal. So how have you, and I know you've relied on your faith, right? So I understand that. So give me more of the practice to stay in gratitude, to always stay in that joy, to do that. Do you is it reading the Bible? Is it praying? Is it something that you do with your wife or your kids? What are the consistencies that, because we have to continuously battle that negative energy that's looking to come in, right? The enemy out there. So how do you continuously buffer and condition yourself?
Before you
Yeah, man.
answer, Joe, let me remind the people for this answer incoming, this is a man who is doing a ton of things really well. Not just an agent. He's, by the way, a top producing agent, has been for years, running, I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, Joe, the top market share for the brokerage for your board. Great family man. His kids watching the news in the morning at 5:42, right? His faith is in line. He's exercising, like he's doing all these things well. So I want you to understand what he's saying. This is not just a theory that he's throwing out. Hey, if you do this, maybe it'll work out. He's living proof of it. So Joe, just wanted to give people some of that backstory. Take it away, brother.
Yeah. So let's go back to the word perspective. just, just like our perspective at Keller Williams is a training, coaching, and consulting company. We're not a real estate company, we're a platform. So when you keep the perspective of why do we do what we do, right? The big why. And it's not the money thing. Like money, really, it matters, but it doesn't matter. And let's be honest in this business. Like, we talk about compensation, we talk about those sorts of things, and they're important because everyone has bills to pay, and unfortunately we don't live on the barter system anymore. I have 13 chickens, you have 2 goats. Let's kind of do that, right? It was fun to learn about that in elementary school, but it just isn't really practical. But that's your what. Your why is to go out and help people solve problems, right? And so when you maintain your perspective every day on why you get up in the morning and do what you do, and it's to help people, then the money doesn't matter. The money will come. The compensation will come. That's the effect, right? But that's not the cause, because when that becomes your cause, then that becomes your focus, and then you do everything based on maximum return, right? And so, you just have to get the money side out of it. Like stop focusing on the money and just start focusing on helping people. One of the reasons, I one of my I say hobbies, or actually my gift, I guess, is music, right? I play on my church's worship team, and I'm also in a worship band. We kind of travel around and go play at things, and it's like, why do I do what I do? And it's not so I can stand on stage like, look how good I play the bass. Did you hear that really cool bass run that I just did? Man, that was awesome, right? Like, that, look at me, give me a smile. Like the perspective when you're up there is, God gave me this gift, and he didn't give us these gifts to hold it to ourselves, but to give it out to other people. And so if the perspective is, as I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, and of course practicing the songs and knowing what I'm supposed to do, then I can truly get into the gift, and hopefully that music touches somebody, or they hear something and it helps break a chain in their life, or mend their heart, or just bring themselves closer to Jesus, or just have a moment where they could just close their eyes and forget about all that's going, and just let the music, just minister to their soul. That's it. And you don't lose perspective when you do that, because when you do, then you're just performing. I am not a performer on the stage. I am not a performer in this real estate business. I am here to use my gifts to help other people succeed in life. And that's it. And you've got to approach every single day with that. Just like as we're all fathers, we're all husbands, like in my affirmation that I wrote, it talks about to defer whatever power I think I have, defer it to my wife, right? To defer it to my family, to know that it's not about me. I'm not the center of the world. That whatever power I feel I have, or whatever influence I have, I'm going to use to elevate my wife and my children, right? And because that's the sort of dad that I want to be, that's the sort of husband that I want to be.
Give me some details about that. Give me some, because I think I'm following, but when you say those words, how do you mean?
Mean deferring the power?
Yeah. Like, you're deferring that to your kids, to your wife. Like, what's that in practice? Just talk to me at an elementary level for a second. Well, how do you practice that?
Sure. So I guess that means, that always like not taking any sort of credit for anything, but saying, but deferring that credit over to thanks. I couldn't have done this without the support of my wife and my kids. I could not, have helped these people if my wife, hadn't sacrificed something that she really wanted to do, because I went and did this thing. It's really just deferring it. Everyone's got a different love language, and words of affirmation may not be, some people just love the praise or whatever. Maybe that's part of it, but really deferring that to other people, man, is what it's about. It's just taking the team, right? Like, you and your wife and your kids you're a team, man. Like, you're like the best team there is. I mean, it's team. Team Evans and Team Heflin, Team Boudreaux, and man, like they're the ones that need to get the credit. And same thing in your business, man. You guys have an awesome sales team, and it's not, you may be the face of the organization, but you guys give credit to your buyer's agents, your admins, your ISAs. You give credit to your supporting brokerage, your supporting office as best as you can. And people really, man, people will really respond to that, man. And that's it, man.
I love it. He said, that's it. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
yeah,
it.
yeah. No, that's it. That's all I got today. A couple things
Sure.
I heard, Kyle. I'll pick on it. When you know your why, you know your way. That's
Mhm.
showing up here in a big way, in different form, in different words. And then I love the defer the power, because that goes back to what Gary has told us for ages now. No one succeeds alone, right?
Yeah.
And always having that energy and that attitude to give credit to the people who may not always be in the spotlight. You and I feel that tremendously, especially graduation week of Bold, when we come off the road. It's Joe, we get and both Kyle and I experienced this in 4 weeks ago, whatever it was. We got an outpouring of so many agents thanking our families for allowing us to be on the road and everything of that nature for that time. And it was so gracious, and it was so great to hear that people understood that perspective.
Yeah,
So hearing you talk about it again, I just love that that's part of our culture and our theme here. That's perfect.
Yeah.
Kyle,
That's
what'd you hear,
awesome.
bud?
well, Marcus, let me take you to what I heard, because it's
Hmm.
funny. There's this thing called Onward Bold by Gary Keller, and it's a brand new bold, and in it they established universal truths of life that we can operate in life and business. There's 10 of them. Justin Joe's talking there. Let me tell you what I heard about these universal truths, and success leaves clues, right? Number one, happiness is a choice. There's your proof right there. Number two, life is an inside job, right? It's an inside to the outside experience. There's your proof right there. His name is Joe. What you focus on expands. The man is focusing on positivity and joy and things like that, and it's showing up in his life. Here you go. Where belief lives, fear can't. Wow, another banger coming out of Joe Boudreaux's mouth. No one succeeds alone. Marcus just hit it. And then right behind his shoulder there, just so you can make sure you pay attention, number 10, love is always the answer. So Joe Boudreaux, in a very short amount of time,
Yeah.
is literally living and explaining the truth of these universal laws and how it's showing up in his life. And he didn't even know he was doing it. That's how you know they're universal laws, man, that show up. And guys, we can either honor them or we can ignore them at our own peril. The choice is literally yours.
Joe, we could literally hang out for another hour and dive in and deep dive into multiple different things. So, and while we can't do that today, two things. One, can you commit to coming back on the show at some point, maybe at the turn of the year, and hanging out with us one more time? We'll pour in a little bit deeper. I need a verbal confirmation.
I would love to, man. I would love
That's
to.
that's signed on the internet. That's a signed, sealed contract, I think. Whatever. All right, it is on the internet, so it's and then number two, man, we always ask our guests, and you've done an amazing job so far. But we've always asked our guests to leave us with some parting words as kind of a goodbye and a call to action, if you will, for any agents out there listening. So, what would you like to share as we end our show today?
Sure. Yeah. So what's on my heart is 1 Corinthians 13:13, where faith, hope, and love abide, but the greatest of these is love. And so if we start every day with love in our hearts for our fellow man and for our people, that's it, man. That's it. You'll see everyone through the eyes of Jesus, and which is just absolutely, how can I help you? You're precious. You're amazing. You're fighting a battle I don't know about, and so I'm just gonna remain in curiosity, right? Remain in curiosity, and what's the rest? I'm sorry. It's 6 personal perspectives, right? Remain in curiosity, I guess.
Yeah, no,
And
you got it, man.
how can I help you? And I'm just gonna love you through it, whatever it is. And it's okay. Like, I know it's like a little weird, like, man, love, like whatever. No, man, like just love people. Just, that's it. And then you're gonna have a great life. You really will.
Could not agree more, man. Thank you on behalf of everybody listening. And of course, me and Kyle, thank you for taking the time to be here with us. We appreciate you and we're excited to have you back here soon. Okay, brother?
All right, you guys.
See y'all.
See ya.